Hello everyone, I represent Olabams Creations and today I want to show us how to make this beautiful cowl neck top. I have this 2 yards material that I'll be using. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel. I actually drafted this hip-line blouse from our previous video, and that is what I'm going to be using. All the lines are showing. That's the chest line, the bust line, waist line and the hip line. If you are yet to watch the video on how to draft a dartless hip-line blouse, I will put the link in the description box so that you can check up the video. The pattern for this dartless hip-line blouse will be the foundation for some of the projects we'll be doing in the next couple of weeks. So please try and watch the video. The first thing we are going to do is to cut out the back bodice. The material we are using is actually a very lightweight material, so that is why I have decided to place some weight on it to avoid the measurement shifting unnecessarily. When working with lightweight material, you need to add some weight to it or you hold down with office pin. We are through with the cutting of the back bodice for our cowl neck top. The next thing is to cut the front part. This is our front bodice. I'm going to be removing the seam allowance I added to my pattern. I'm removing it and then I will slash it at the waist. That is from the center front, but I will not cut it off completely. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm slashing it at the waist, but I will not cut it all through. So here is the material I will be using to cut the front part of my cowl neck. This is the open edge, can you see? And here is the folded edge, which will as well serve as the center front. I will be folding it at the edge with 5 inches. That 5 inches that are folded in will serve as the facing for the cowl at the front. After folding in the 5 inches facing, I will measure down 5 inches, which will serve as the neck depth, and then another 8.5 inches, which will serve as the neck width. You can choose to increase it. I will then connect this rectangle with a straight ruler. You can choose to increase or decrease it. It all depends. That will depend on how wide or how low your cowl will form. I decided to use a marker here because I really want you to see the markings well. And I know that it's a temporary marker, so it is erasable. Then you need to be sure that the folds are well aligned. Can you see what I'm doing? Here is the front part of our dartless bodice. I mean the pattern. Remember, I removed the seam allowance I added when I was drafting the pattern, so as to enable me to slash and spread the pattern properly. Once I'm done cutting the fabric, I'm going to add the allowance back. I will place the tip of the neck at the edge of the earlier rectangle drawn. I will make sure that the center line of the pattern is well aligned with the center front of the fabric. I will also make sure that the tip of the neck does not exceed the tip of the rectangle I drew earlier on. I will spread it and place some weight on it to avoid alteration in my measure. I will trace out the side seam starting from the armhole. I'll make sure that the curve is well blended. I'm going to be using a red marker so that you can see the markings. Look at it. This is the armhole curve. This is the side seam. I will add the seam allowance to the side. This is the tip of the shoulder. and this is the tip of the neck depth. So I'm going to connect the 2 points with a straight line. This new line is our shoulder line, and you can see that the width is too much. So what I will do is to pleat it so that the back and the front shoulder lines can be properly aligned together. As you can see, I have added the seam allowance. The next thing I'm going to do is to complete the cutting of the front body. The folded edge here will serve as the facing for our front cowl. The first thing we are going to do here is to fold in the facing. I'm going to be folding it in with ½ inch. This is the front part of our shoulder line. We are going to pleat it and make sure that it is well aligned with the back shoulder line. We are going to be adding a basic sleeve to our cowl neck top, but before then, let us cut a facing for the back bodice, and we are going to be cutting the facing on a bias. This is the facing I'm going to be using for the back. Look at it, I cut it on bias. I'll come back to show you the final outcome. What I'm doing here is to fold in the inbuilt front facing. I have actually folded the facing for the front cowl so that it can be neat. And when I'm going to fold it, I'm going to be folding it like this. With the way I have folded in the built-in facing for the front cowl bodice, I don't need to do any other facing, and it will just be as neat as I want it to be when I'm about to do the final sewing. I will pick up some pleating here at the shoulder line so that I can match it up properly with the back part of the shoulder. I will measure it so as to be sure that it aligns with the back shoulder. I will join the back and the front shoulder together now. Here is the finished look of our beautiful DIY cowl neck top. It's a pity that this mannequin is not doing enough justice to it because they are not of the same size. But all the same, you can still see how the cowl is well formed. That is the built-in collar. Can you see it? Very beautiful. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel. You can turn on your notification bell so that you get notified whenever a new video is dropped on this channel.